Hey guys, so I'm doing another video today and I wanted to talk to you about how to walk while you wait. Now God had given me this lesson and told me that that's what he wanted it to be the title of this past week, and me and my dad were talking over dinner and he told me that while he was driving down the road he was listening to K-Love and he heard a lady on K-Love say to do the last thing that God told you to do until he gives you further instructions. Now, this really resonated in my mind and stood out, and it was really something that stuck with me for this lesson, because this can be hard. It can be really hard for us as humans because we love making to-do lists for ourselves. We love completing tasks. It makes us feel accomplished a lot of the time when we're able to get something done that we normally wouldn't have time to get done. We like completing tasks. But what if God gives us instructions that we have to complete continually? We have to do them over and over and over and over again. What if we have to repeat these on a daily basis and make them a part of our lives? You know, a lot of us, this is where we'll lose faith. We stop working towards the completion of that task that God gave us. You know, we get it in our heads that, God, I've done this so many times. I'm sick and tired of doing this. That's how we'll feel a lot of the time when God's not giving us new instructions, when he's not telling us something new that he wants us to do. We'll feel like God has left us, that he's not talking to us anymore. He's not letting us know this new thing that he wants us to do, this new thing he wants us to start. So we have to continue doing the old thing over and over again. And you know, even Albert Einstein, I believe it was him, who said that doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results is the definition of insanity. But I don't believe that. I don't believe that doing the same thing over and over again is the definition of insanity. I believe that it's the definition of obedience. Because, you know, even in Psalms 27:14, it says, "Wait on the Lord, be of good courage, and he shall strengthen thine heart. Wait, I say, on the Lord." So you see, this is where our strength comes from. This verse reassures us that when we wait, our hearts are strengthened, that God will strengthen our hearts through that waiting process, through that waiting period, where we're saying, God, I don't know what you're going to give me next to do, but I know that I'm going to keep doing what you've already told me to do until you do give me something new that you would desire for me to do for your kingdom. You know, I've seen everywhere where God says yes, he says no, and then God says not yet. But what do we do when God says not yet? Because, you know, when we're asking God what he wants us to do, he can say, yes, I want you to do that. No, I don't want you to do that. Or, I don't want you to do anything new yet. What do we do when God says not yet? You know, to me, I kind of think of it like playing the game Simon Says. Because anyone who's ever played the game Simon Says realizes that when Simon says to do something, you do it. When Simon doesn't say to do something, you don't do it. If it just says someone else said to do it, then you keep doing the same thing that Simon told you to do. And it's kind of like that with God. We don't do anything new until God says. We don't change our old things that we used to do until God says a new thing to do. So we continue doing the last thing until he instructs us with a new thing to do. And then next I want to read Micah 6:8. And it says, He hath showed thee, O man, what is good, and what doeth the Lord require of thee, but to do justly, and to love mercy, and to walk humbly with thy God. So here in Micah, we're reminded that God calls doing what he showed us to do as good. But it's not just good. You know, here it says, what doeth the Lord require of thee? You have to do what God requires of you. It's not just good to do that. It's a requirement that comes from him. It's a responsibility for us to continue doing those things that he's told us to. You know, specifically it says that we're to do justly. Now, when it's talking here about doing justly, it means that we're supposed to treat others fairly, that we're supposed to treat them in a just way, in a way that we can justify. It also says that we're to love mercy. which is clinging to the one who saved us. You know, if you love mercy, it means that you are more than thankful for it. You're not just grateful for the mercy that God gives you, but you love it. You cling to it daily. And then it also says that we're to walk humbly. And this is where this verse really specifically applies to this lesson, is because if we walk humbly, then we walk in obedience. We walk in completely surrender to God. And that's where this really applies to this lesson, is that if we're doing the same things that God told us to do, then we're not doing anything that He told us not to do. You know, we're being obedient. We're walking with Him. So that's what I wanted to share today, and I hope that it really helps someone and that it encourages you. And I appreciate everybody who listens to these videos, and I pray that everyone has a blessed day. And bye, guys.